What I do want to know, if possible, is a little bit more about maybe some of what you consider your most important or earth shattering, let's say, interviews, articles you've written. If I may, I'd start you out with one because I don't think I'd ever heard of your name before. For a while when I read some of the things, I wasn't even sure, not knowing the German language well enough, if you were a man or a woman. I saw Mike,
I
and I didn't know
know,
if that was a
I know,
variation of Michael or what.
I
But
know, I know.
it was, and certainly the Fatima Center has covered this a lot, and it was something that Father Döhlinger, who
Mhm.
knew then Cardinal Josef Ratzinger, sort of came out. And I believe you were one of the first to sort of pick up on this or report on it. If you don't mind telling us a little bit just about
Sure.
that, and then even how you knew. I guess it's the German connection, how you would know someone like Father Döhlinger, who he was. Some of our audience may not know him.
Yeah. So again, since we received, Father Gruner's the Fatima Crusader, and I read the text by Father Kramer on his meeting Dr. Dollinger in Brazil, as I recall. He visited him there at the seminary and talked with, and Dr. Dollinger told him the story that he had challenged Cardinal Ratzinger at the time after the official publication of the Third Secret of Fatima, because he had had previous conversations with Cardinal Ratzinger that indicated that what it contained, there was some talk about warnings to, have a council, warnings not to alter the mass or have a new mass, some things like this that he had heard from Ratzinger. That's how he reported it to Kramer at the time. And that when the Third Secret was published and it wasn't in there, he went after Cardinal Ratzinger celebrated Mass. He went to the sacristy, Dr. Dollinger, and said that can't be it. And Ratzinger purportedly just took off and said, kind of, there's on the way out, there's more. We didn't publish the whole thing, or there's something left. The exact words. But that's the message. And so I knew that for, I think it was a couple of years, honestly. I tried to get through to Dr. Döllinger just because I have a relative who knew him very well. And I knew already that Dr. Döllinger had a very deep faith and was touching my relative very much in his faith. And so, yeah, there was this connection. And also, as we know, Bishop Schneider had him as his teacher. He went to that seminary and in Brazil and knew him for years and cherished him very much. So much he visited him on his deathbed or dying bed. And so it happened in 2016 that sometimes you think you are inspired. I never would say that, but it was Pentecost Sunday, and I just thought, well, let me try this telephone number and just call him up. And I haven't spoken at that time yet with Dr. Dollinger. And so I just called him up, and yeah, he
Wow.
talked to me and confirmed it. So I have nothing original. It's Father Kramer who did the groundwork. I just picked it up and just talked to him. And I guess since I had another platform, 1 Peter 5 at the time when I published it, that he confirmed. Essentially, it was just a confirmation. He didn't give me any new information that wasn't already out there, but he confirmed it. And 1 Peter 5 at that time was just a spearhead of a lot of stories. I think at that time, the landscape was such that a lot of Catholic outlets were still not sure how to report on Pope Francis. And there weren't too many outlets to go to at that point for news that don't try to sugarcoat the situation, but just plainly report. And a lot of German angles in that at the time. Cardinal Kasper, Cardinal whatever, Pope Benedict, of course, and then Cardinal Müller, the opposition, Brandmüller. There were just so many, the German Bishops' Conference, so many German angles that people, sometimes went to 1 Peter 5. So when we published it, it went, pretty quickly, was spread so much that I think in a day, Pope Benedict came out of retirement, I think for the first time, and had a statement. It was more indirect. It was kind of a little strange the way it was worded. but kind of saying that he has never spoken with Dr. Dollinger about Fatima, and so that the story is untrue.
Huh. That seems very strange then. Interesting. I wonder
Yeah,
if it really was from I wonder if it really was from Pope Benedict Cardinal Ratzinger himself.
I
Pope
have later, I do have from other sources, it seems that it was from him.
Hmm.
And I later published in a letter that I had later written to him. I wouldn't accuse him of lying. This is none of, um, people have their different, what is the third secret? They might have had some mental reservation. They might have had some influencers, some counselors. It is so complex that I
It
wrote to
is.
Pope and said, I'm just, is there something else in the letters of Sister Lucy that would help our situation in the church now? It's for me, that's not the point. The point is, what did Our Lady tell Sister Lucy that we should know about? And till today, I still try digging, and try to contact people I think they would know, because it's just Our Lady's voice that counts. And but de facto, I went back to Dr. Dollinger, telling him, I called him up again, that he Pope Benedict denied it, and Dr. Dollinger stood by his story. And so I do know also from the secretary of his secretary that I spoke with, and with other sources, that he has been consistent with the story from day one. I mean, he called his secretary the day he spoke with Ratzinger and related it to her. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
no, I think you make a very good point about just our minds definitely play tricks. I was very young. I was in high school when I realized that because I had been riding with a friend in a car and she was driving and we had a small accident because we were not paying attention. We were singing songs, singing music.
mhm,
And later on, we got back to the school because it was during lunchtime that this happened. And later on, I found out that she was telling everyone that the brakes on the car had locked.
oh,
And I confronted her several days later, and I told her, "Well, why are you saying this? I mean, we were negligent. It was our fault. I
yeah,
mean, she didn't want to get in trouble with her dad." And from the way she responded to me, I realized she had convinced herself of that. That she had
yeah,
convinced herself that the brakes
yeah,
had locked, and this was the truth. And that always made an impression on me as a young man because I thought, our mind can really alter
yeah,
truth, alter our
yeah,
memories, and that plays a role because I really couldn't say at that point she was lying. She
yeah,
was convinced that this is how that accident went out, and I was convinced it was different. Who's to? I mean, possibly I was wrong. I seriously doubt it, but it is interesting how
yeah.
things. Yeah,
Yeah, so I guess the truth will. I trust the truth will come out one day. We know the third secret in its fullness will be published at some point, and then we will see, who was proven right. But even then, we still can't fully judge Pope Benedict.
certainly. Right.
What his motives, what his understanding. Yeah, it's just I
Yeah.
pray for him
Best.
every day, and